Okay everyone, so I have finished stitching my strand, and I'm going to measure it now with I'm gonna pull back a bit. I'm going to measure it with my measuring tape and see how long it is. Now I told you already that I needed an 11 and a half inch length of beaded beaded wire, and it's 11 and a half inches exactly. Can you see that? Yeah, it's 11 and a half. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there. Now it's a good idea that when you have your first strand, you count how many chain stitches you did, so that you don't have to measure every time. Of course, if you want to double check, you know, you can. But and some of your beads, like I said, are gonna be moving around and they're going to cross from one chain stitch to the other, but that's fine. But it's a good idea to count your chain stitches so you don't have to count every time. So I counted 35, and so now I know that I need 35 beaded chain stitches to make the length that I want. Now after we finished here, we're going to chain stitch 8 more. Okay, so we're going to go again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now here, since it's the end, we're going to do one more, and we're just gonna leave it halfway. We're gonna pull our hook out, and then we're going to measure our 8 inches, okay? Where's the measuring tape? Okay. We're going to measure our 8 inches. Okay, and here's our 8 inches roughly, and we're going to cut. We're going to cut. There we go. So we have already our first. Oh, I'm sorry. We have to go back to where we have our unfinished stitch. We put our hook in it again, and we just pull the wire through, and we pull, and it makes a sort of knot, so that wire is going nowhere. And here you have your first strand. Now I'm making a 7-strand necklace, and I have to make, of course, the rest of the other 6 strands. Now just remember the steps. Measure 8 chain stitches, measure 8 inches for the tail, and then make a small loop, and then start stitching 8 chain stitches without any beads. Then you start chain stitching your beads, bringing up your beads, and in my case it was 35 chain stitches with beads. Then you chain stitch the last 8 ones, and you make a 9th one, and you leave it halfway, and then you measure your 8-inch tail. You go back, you put your hook in, pull your wire through, and just pull on it to make this small knot, so that you know, this will not become undone. So I'm going to finish my other 6 strands, and I will be back. Okay, so I'm back, and I have my I have my 7 strands all finished. Okay, and this is what they will look like. Now, the next step is to straighten them out. So we're going to take strand by strand. We're going to put them on our working surface, and we're going to lay them flat. We're going to make them go in the same direction, flat against your surface. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult here where the beads are, but it's much easier than when you're working with bigger beads, okay? So you're going to straighten these out as you go. Make sure they're all, in the same direction. And it's really not that hard. So, there you go. Okay. Okay, so we have our first strand all straightened out. Then we continue with the rest of our strands. Okay? Put them flat on your surface. Okay, they're all flat. Put it aside. Next. And you're going to continue doing this with the remaining 6 strands that you have. Some of them are going to be a little bit more difficult than others. Don't worry about that. Just straighten them out as you go, so that they can all be facing, the same direction, okay? They have to be what I call flat. They're not really flat, but yeah, as flat as you can make them. So yeah, this is as flat as you can go. There you go. Now see here, I have a really small chain stitch. So if you have one of these, don't worry about it, okay? Just don't worry about it. It's not gonna mess up your necklace, and nobody's gonna see it because this is a 7-strand necklace. Okay, so as soon as I finish all these, the remaining ones, the remaining 4, I'll be back. Okay, I have all my strands straightened out. They don't look very straight, huh? But, well, it's wire. So now you're going to take one of the ends of each of your strands and put them against each other. Let me just do a close-up so you can see well what I'm doing. Okay. You're going to put them together like this, where you on any of the parts that you have the 8 chain stitches. The first 8 chain stitches or the last 8 chain stitches, it doesn't matter which ones. You're going to put them all together. Like this. Okay. So here you have all of them together, more or less, paired up and everything, right? So you're going to give them a good 3 or 4 twists, and there it is. Now this is where you're going to want to maybe tape your work. Here, let me zoom out a bit. This is where you're going to want to maybe tape your work, okay? Why? Because we're going to braid this, and if you're afraid of them getting tangled, because they do tend to tangle a little, not too much, but they do tend to tangle because of their length and because it's wire and all that. You can tape your work. I'm going to tape mine. So that this can help you out. Okay. Now, you can see that if you flattened your work perfectly well, that is why it's very important to flatten out your work. Okay, you're going to put 2 to your left or 2 to your right, whichever. 2 to your right, and you're going to leave 3 in the middle. Okay, that's your 7 strands. Now, when you start braiding, I want you to keep the each strand next to each other, not on top of each other, okay? They have to be next to each other. So, we're going to start braiding. And I'm sure everybody knows how to make a braid, right? And you're going to run your fingers through your work. You're going to make a loose braid. You're not going to make it tight. This is not about tightness. And make sure that your strands are next to each other, okay? Don't put them on top of each other. There. Okay, so here we have already finished our the parts where we don't have any beads. Now let's go for the parts where we have our beads. Remember, next to each other, okay? And as you can see, I'm doing this loosely and widely, so it's not tight. You don't have to tighten anything. It has to be loose. You'll have to maneuver and, you know, move your strands around so that they don't get on top of each other. Run your hands down the strands so that they don't get tangled, and just keep braiding, remembering to keep your strands next to each other, not on top of each other, so that your braid will come out really nice and flat, not clumpy. Okay, I'm gonna move this a little bit so I can move your work and you can see better. I can move my work and you can see better, where especially where I'm going to finish. Okay, here. Where am I? Here. I'm here. Here. on top of each other, next to each other. Okay. There we go. We're almost done. Now here, I want you to see this. Let me move my work a little bit higher up. See this? I already don't have any beads on this wire. Okay, and this one I'm also almost through with the beads. These already have many beads. I mean, these still have beaded chain stitches, and these just have a few. We're going to continue braiding until the end, okay? That does not matter. That is the difference, like when you're measuring and then you're off by maybe 1/4 of an inch or maybe 1/8 of an inch. They start adding up. It's impossible if that could be used to have exact measurements on these type of necklaces because of the size of the chain stitches and because the amount of beads that you put on each chain stitch. So what we do is we're going to continue with our braiding until we have no more wire, chain stitched wire to braid. Okay, so here I can here I've already reached the end of the chain stitched wire. I'm still going to continue braiding with the tail wire, and here I still have enough chain stitched wire to keep on braiding, so I'm going to keep on braiding until I finish. So I have here the last with this side, the last chain stitches. I'm going to put them there, and then I continue with the wire, and here I'm finished. Okay, I'm finished, and so I bring this all together, and once more we're going to twist our wires together about 3 or 4 times. 4 times maybe it's better. 4 times. Okay, so what are we going to do next? First, we're not going to maneuver with our necklace yet. We're going to finish the ends. Now with the ends, you will notice that some of the wires are shorter than the others and longer than the others. So you're going to take where your shortest wire is, and this is my shortest wire right here, this one, and I'm going to take, just straighten my wires out as best as I can, and I'm going to cut the rest of the wires with my chain cutters at the same length. There you go. Okay, so now they're all the same length. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Straighten out your wires the best you can, and on this side I can see that my shortest wire is this one. There's not much difference between the other 4, but the shortest one is this one. See? So I'm gonna cut the other wires at the same length as that one. Okay? So now they're all the same length. Now, here I want to introduce a tool to you. I had spoken about it before, and it helps me a lot. If you want to make several of these necklaces now that the holidays are coming up, I recommend this tool. It's called wire twister, and it looks somewhat like a drill. It does work somewhat like a drill, and it's pretty big for what it does. Maybe they have smaller ones now, but I bought this one way back, and it's rechargeable. It doesn't use batteries, and it has this thing at the tip that you twist, and as you twist, let me close it, let me make a close-up of it so you can see it. Okay, as you twist, it opens. See, it opens so you can insert your wires in there. Okay, and then you close it again. Okay, so what we're gonna do is what I'm going to do, I'm just gonna show you how to do this, how I do this. Okay, so I'm gonna take the wires and I'm gonna open this so that the wires fit in there. Depending on the amount of wires is how you're gonna have to open it. There you go. Okay, then you close it again until you feel it tight. Okay, it's tight enough, and then you're going to let me zoom out. Then you're going to start, it's twist slowly. Okay, so there you go. You have to keep this straight. And that's about as, there. That's about as tight as I want to go. See? Don't tighten it too much because then your wires are going to snap. So that's as tight as I want to go on this one. And I'm going to do the other one with you guys, twisting it by hand. Okay, so let me separate the wires in two and start twisting. For you ladies that want to make, I have carpal tunnel, but you know, and I found that that's why I bought this tool, because I couldn't, I just couldn't do it by hand anymore. But if you plan on making, you know, several of these necklaces, I do recommend this tool. You can find, I know Michael's has it, Hobby Lobby, I don't know. I don't go to Joann's that often, so I don't know if she has it. So you can also buy them at hardware stores. Like I said, they act pretty much like a drill, and they're very useful if you want to make a lot of these. Okay, so we have both sides. We have both sides already put together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to maneuver with our necklace. We're going to separate it. We're going to start separating the crochet parts, all of them. Don't make big holes, just separate them so it looks a little bit wider. You can make it as wide or as thin as you want. If you like it like this, just leave it like that. I want mine a little bit wider, so I'm making it a little bit wider. And wire is so forgiving, seriously. If this breaks or something, it will not, I mean, you can fix it. You can fix anything on these necklaces, except when you know, your clasp breaks. I think that's the only one, but I don't know, maybe you can also, yeah, you can fix that as well. So we maneuver, we just pull here, pull there, push. Don't make big holes, just, you know, separate the strands so they look individual and they look a little bit wider. You can also do like make them thinner, make it thinner at over here at the ends and make it wider in the center. Okay, and then you start rounding it out with your fingers. Okay, there you go. And there we have our base necklace made with blue steel and amethyst hex beads. Now next, my next video, I will be showing you how to make the clasp, and I will be showing you these two embellished. Okay, so I hope you liked my video. If you did, please push the like button, and if you want to subscribe so you can keep up to date on my new recordings, please do so. And also my website link, I don't have a website anymore, but I will put my link to my website on Facebook. Like me on Facebook if you want, and leave a comment, ask questions. I'll be more than glad to answer your questions, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you like in 2 or 3 days at the most. That's when I will be uploading my next video to finish this necklace. Thank you so much, and you have a great day. Bye.